Okay, so the next little video we're going to do is about neural networks, about PyTorch's implementation of neural networks. Um, and as I'm just clicking through it, we notice that it uses this command called class. And within the class, there's a bunch of functions and various things that are defined within the class. So it's a new kind of data type which we haven't, well, at least explicitly used with knowledge that we are using it, although implicitly a lot of things we may have used are classes. Let's actually see um, Python class into Google, and let's click through. Okay, we have a notebook now. Let's do intro to Python class. And let's just use this website for trying to understand what a class is, okay? Um, it's, again, MATLAB has classes and so on. Classes and objects are um, data types, or I suppose programming paradigms that come under what's called object-oriented programming, okay? So let's see how that works. So let's actually um, use this example, okay? Use this example here. So let's go class person semicolon, and then it automatically puts a tab in there, define underscore underscore init underscore underscore self comma name comma age, something like that, and then we go self dot name equals name self dot age equals age, okay? So what we have defined here is a class called a person, and with two attributes. The person has a name and an age, okay? Let me just run this. It takes a couple of minutes. It's connecting, initializing, and so on. Okay, so there is some error there. Let's see what the error is. The usual error is the lack of a colon there at the end. Okay, so it's happy. We've just defined a class, and then let's actually use the class somehow. Let me say p1 equals person, exactly like here, and then within quotes, maybe double quotes, John, comma 36, and it's happy. Now we've created a variable of the data type person, of the class person, and then we can go print p1.name, print p1.age, okay? Okay, so what did we just do? Okay, what we did is created a class called person, and then a particular class can have uh, variables that belong to that class, and then those variables that belong to that class are called objects. Okay, and that's why it's called object-oriented programming. Um, so um, so that's it. Okay, so we can have different attributes, and then we can define variables that have those attributes using this function. Person, I don't know. I'm just going to use my name, but give some random number there, and then print p2 dot name, print p2 dot age. Okay, something. You can have functions that belong to this class, functions that operate on attributes of this class. Okay, so here's an example, and they are called methods, functions that belong to a particular class that um, operate on potentially objects, attributes of the class are called methods, the object methods. I don't know. It could be something like full name. So let's make up a method called full name, and then let me actually change the person attribute to first name, not first name, and then self dot last name equals last name, and then let's make the inputs to be first name and last name, like so. I'm going to clear these things now. So let me run this again. Oops. Well, I see. I haven't defined the function yet. So let me actually delete that and define it later. Okay, so we've just defined the class. And then now that we've changed the class, it requires actually 3 inputs as opposed to 2 inputs to actually be able to construct it. Let me run this. This is the previous version of the class. It's going to give presumably an error of sorts. Okay, blah, blah, blah. It's missing one required positional argument, age, it says. Okay, so when we use this class as a function, by default, self just means basically the object that is being created. And you don't have to give any input for that. But you do need to, when you're using this sort of constructor person, you have to give it inputs first name, last name, and age. So first name is John, last name is, I don't know, Manoj, and then age is, let's say, 36. Now you can do that, and then it's going to give an error because p1.name is no longer defined. Person object has no attribute called name, so now the name attribute is first name and last name. Okay, those are the first names and last names. Let's just delete these things. You can trash it. So this works fine. What I'm now going to do is do a construction, define a method for this thing. Let's call, they called it my func of self. I'm going to say full name or something of self. So it's going to operate on self, namely the current object. And we go print my full name is, comma, and then you can go first self dot first name, and then self dot last name or something. So we've defined this class. We've not run the function. We've just defined the function. Okay. And here we are defining an object that belongs to that class. And now we can go p1 dot, sorry, not pi, p1 dot. Let's run this thing. P1 now gives you all these options. Gives you the options of age, first name, full name, and last name. Okay, so these are either attributes or methods that belong to this object. So this is kind of what we've been using when we were using tensors or ND arrays and so on. We've been using these kinds of functionality. So age, first name, and last name are just attributes. They are basically variables, fields in some sense in MATLAB language. But full name is actually a function. So we can click on that and execute that function, and it actually executes this um, executes this thing. Okay.